Welcome back to my backyard snack yard. Hidden here in this little corner of my garden, we have my beautiful Szechuan pepper tree. I planted it out this year finally after it spent a few years in a pot, getting big and strong, and also poking me a lot with its very, very sharp thorns. Let me show you some of these thorns down here. Look at this. They are crazy. And so where it was in a pot, it was right next to my laundry. It would snag onto the laundry, as you can imagine, and occasionally me too, just snag onto everything. So it's much better to have it in a really out of the way place. And it's tied up to my tree there because, as you can see, it's quite spindly. It's actually straightening out now that I've really strapped it to that apple tree. It's really helping it. But what I want to do today is have a look at some of the beautiful peppercorns that are forming here. They're starting to ripen because they're turning a beautiful red. Eventually they'll turn really dark red, and then they'll open up. And inside we'll see there's a little black seed. But you don't actually eat the black seed. It's apparently flavorless. What you actually want to harvest is the pericarps, or those little seed husks. And you can actually pick these at any stage of ripeness. Even the leaves are really flavorsome. They have sort of lemony flavor because they're also in the lemon family, or not the lemon family, the citrus family. So when I feed this tree, there's some apples over there, but that's from a different tree. When I feed this tree, I feed it with a citrus feed. So all summer long, it gets a weekly feed alongside the other citruses. And then during the winter, I give it a monthly feed. So it stays nice and healthy, and of course during the winter it's completely deciduous, so it just looks like some really bare, thorny sticks. But then it springs back early on. That was really noisy. But yeah, so what I want to do right now is, even though they're not quite ready, I want to pick a few so I can use them in a little dish I'm making in the house. It's so much fun. I love being able to pick my own herbs and spices. I don't think that many birds find these very attractive. I think they're too spicy for them, luckily. I only picked a few because it's a very, very strong flavor. It's actually more of a sensation than a flavor. It gives you this really numbing of your mouth. And I think it tastes quite spicy too. And if you look at them, you can see that they're like little tiny oranges. They've got those oil glands that you see on oranges too. They're definitely related. So we'd come out here and pick our cucumbers so we can make some pickles. That's what I want to use the Szechuan peppers for. I've got this one cucumber growing in a bag. As you can see, there's a few cucumbers on it, so let's just get picking. See how many we've got. Got this one. So look at it. That looks cool. I mean, I love the way they look so prickly. Look at them. That's going to be beautiful for pickling, isn't it? It looks like a proper pickle. A pickled cucumber, I should say. There's still more little flowers coming along. I'm not sure if they're going to have a chance to ripen. We are in the last third of September. Look at that. A really nice uniform size, actually, surprisingly. Let's get this other one. This one here. Oh, it's a beauty. I wonder if there are more. They're quite well camouflaged sometimes, I find. So it's about finding them. Oops, there you go. Drop down there. Look at that. Oh, I can smell that cucumber. Now let's have a look and see if there's any more hidden anywhere, because sometimes it just sort of sprawls everywhere. Let's have a look down here. It's growing into that undergrowth. Oh, there's some nice apples down here. Low-hanging fruit. Another nice apple. Let's get that one. Looks like there are only a few small ones left now, like this little guy, that little guy over there, and this little guy here. So we'll leave them for a bit longer, and we'll just use the ones we've got. Here are 3 little cucumbers. All the best things come in threes, don't they? So they're quite a decent size, I think. Not as small as a mini gherkin, so I'm actually going to slice them up rather than just pickle them whole or even in halves. And I'm going to add some beautiful onions to the mix. I'm going to add some garlic too. I love garlic. Let's just get cutting. Here they are, all cut up, and all I'm going to do now is add 2 teaspoons of salt. There's lovely sea salt flakes here. So let's get that and put it in. So we're going to mix it up really well, and then we're going to put it in the sink for all the water, all the moisture, just to drip out. I'm going to weigh it down with a plate or bowl, actually. There we go. I'll leave it there for an hour. I just popped out here again because I also want to pick some fennel, and I've got this fennel that's gone over now. It's gone to seed. Look how nice it looks. Got a nice anisey flavor to it. Let's get one of these. Look at that. I want to keep most of the seeds actually so I can grow some more of it. It is a perennial, so it'll be back again next year. It'd be nice to have even more. But let's bring this inside. While the cucumbers and onions are sitting in their salt mix, I'm going to make the pickling mix. So we took 200 grams of sugar, 300 grams of vinegar. I'm using distilled malt vinegar because I don't have any apple cider vinegar. I'm making lots from all my apples out in the garden, but that will be ready by next year for the next season. So I'm looking forward to that. It's so nice to have my own. It just has a totally different flavor to it. And you know it's all natural. I also added 75 grams of water. I put all those little Szechuan peppers in, all those corns we picked earlier. See those little red things floating around? And I added 2 whole cloves too. And then we're just going to let all the sugar dissolve. I think it is nearly dissolved now. And then we'll turn off the heat and just leave the mix there to infuse. So they've been sitting for long enough. We're going to rinse them out now and then leave them to drain. Get rid of any excess salt. I'm just going to get my fennel and tear off little bits of it. Actually, I'm going to stir it through these onions and cucumbers because they'll really help infuse it. The smell was so strong of this really wonderful aniseedy scent. So delightful. All we have to do now is to get these cucumbers and onions and fennel into the jars. In the end, it just filled 1 jar. Look how good that looks. I'm just going to bring the pickle mix to a boil now. We brought it to a boil, so now we can take it off and pour it over our little pickles. Yum! See if I can do this carefully. I think I should probably just not film this. Look at that, completely filled up. I'm going to just sort this out and close it up. It was completely packed full, just the way I like it. And I've just turned it upside down now to make sure the lid gets all sterilized as well. I'll leave it this way for 5 minutes and then I'll leave it to cool and then I'll refrigerate it. It can stay in the refrigerator like unopened for about 2 months at least. Oh my goodness. But I'm going to eat it much faster than that, I can assure you. It's so delicious in sandwiches and things like that. It's just such a really amazing one. I've never done it with Szechuan peppers before, but I love using it as a fresh spice. It's so different, and this pickling mix just tasted completely different. I had a little taste of it, and also the smell too was completely, really aromatic. So good. So I'm really happy to have that. So exciting. Just turn this guy over so you can see how he looks. Look at that. Isn't he just beautiful? What a treat. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you next time. There's a really funny thing I just noticed. Look how yellow it's turning. That's the turmeric. Huh. How yummy.